Boo!
I gotcha. Bet you didn't.
Oh my god!
No, but in all seriousness, I'm here to actually talk about something that is deadly serious. Deadly serious. And that is, why is Call of Duty, more so Activision, sabotaging their own game in Black Ops 6? No doubt you've seen what's going on with all the voice actors that are being essentially denied basic rights within their contract to not having their livelihood stolen away from them. So that's never good. That on top of using AI in the store, selling it to us without disclosing it, and just in general not fixing the game that they sold us for $70, I'd say Call of Duty's not doing too hot right now. And first of all, before I say anything, I want to preface this by saying I don't like any of the stuff either, okay? I'm not a slob wizard over here for Call of Duty and Activision. If you're thinking about it and no one's told you to do this yet, stop buying the bundles in the store, dude. You don't need it. You don't need the Master Chief bundle where he says how proud he is of you, son. It's gonna be okay. So don't buy anything. Don't buy any bundles, any battle passes, any pass events. And yeah, that's right. If you haven't played Call of Duty in a while, they're making you pay to get all the stuff they put in all their new events, which sucks. But I know what you're saying. Just don't pay for it. I'm not. That's why I'm saying this.
I just told you that!
No, but I'm not. And you shouldn't either, if you're thinking about it. If you're not, congrats, dude. We're all part of a big happy family here who doesn't want to give Activision any more money that they don't need. And if you're like, but I want to look cool for, all the normies I'm smashing in Warzone, it's like, bro, there's stuff in the game you can get that's actually pretty cool if you just go to unlock it. And unfortunately, that's all we'll ever get that we can just earn in the game that's cool because of the pass events. So anyway, moving on to what this video is actually about. How exactly is Activision sabotaging their game here in Black Ops 6? And when I say sabotage, it's important to understand that in order to sabotage something, there has to be something to be sabotaged, if you know what I mean. So why am I talking about this? Why do I have such a concern over the sabotage of this game? Why don't I just play something else? And I have been, trust me. The reason why I have such a concern over this is this was the big time AAA, very expensive game that I got into as a kid, much like many other people, and that they got hooked on as a kid and they still play to this day, even though the quality's gone down. So Call of Duty being the number one, zombies for me, Madden being the next, 2K being another example, NHL being another example. And I can understand why people got hooked on NHL as a kid, because I've been playing that lately and it's a lot of fun. So I get it why you'd be, enticed by all these different games and all the things they provide. You know what I'm not enticed by is when I get 25 shots on goal and none of them go in and I lose 2-0
in regulation!
That's not fun.
Why are you tripping him? You are in perfect position to poke check, and you trip. You miss on a f***ing poke check. Are we in fourth grade?
There's no reason sports games should make us so blood-curdlingly pissed off, frustrated, but they do. And it's every time you play it. But we still play it. So saying how I like zombies, that means that I must hate this new game, dude. I must want to burn this game to the ground. No, I actually quite liked it when it first came out. Why did I like it, though? If I say it's being sabotaged and Activision's doing all these terrible things, what is there to even like about this game, dude? Well, I'll tell you what there is to like, dude. The first thing present is the save and quit feature, baby. The save and quit feature is a new thing introduced into Black Ops 6 Zombies that was never here before. It essentially makes it to where you can save your game and quit your game. I know, dude. That means that if I have something I need to do and I'm in the middle of an intense game of zombies, I can just pause it, save it, leave, go do that, come back later, and do it again, baby. That's great because I have friends, I have a girlfriend, yeah, that's right. Reading in the wheat, fellas.
Oh yeah!
And so if I'm doing something, say the Easter egg, and then I'm going to do something with my girlfriend, I can pause the game, come back the next day, jump back in, hop on where I started and finish that Easter egg, or almost finish it, because I get to the boss and then it glitches out and it's unplayed. But on the off chance that it is playable, it's a lot of fun. That's another thing I like about this game. The boss fights in this are probably the best in any Call of Duty Zombies game ever. If you look at some of the old boss fights, they were really fun to me because they were cool and unique, and we've never seen anything like that in a Call of Duty game before. But to people who play games with actual bosses in them, I imagine you are probably a little underwhelmed by the footage I'm showing right behind me. And that's understandable. It was fun to me because I like zombies. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like jumping up and down, sliding, and avoiding these zombies while I take out this giant apothecant creature from hell! Do you want to play Call of Duty Zombies yet? Speaking of moving around, jumping around, dodging the zombies, that's another thing that's really good in Black Ops 6. Maybe the best it's ever been. I know, that's a crazy statement, but being able to run in any direction is pretty freaking sick. And don't even get me started on being able to slide in any direction. That's good, because you can create space from the zombies. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, once you get some of these perks that I'm going to mention here in a minute, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So the general movement of zombies this year is actually pretty freaking good. And when you combine it with the perks that I'm talking about, it makes it even better and makes that movement even more fun. So what are these perks that I'm talking about? So if you don't know, you have your perks like Juggernaut, Quick Revive, Speed Cola. They'll give you a kind of a buff in game that makes your player a little bit better at doing stuff, right? Jug makes you stronger. Quick Revive revives you quickly or your friends quickly. Speed Cola makes you reload faster. All sorts of things that would be useful if you were being tracked down by an undead horde, stopping at nothing forever to kill you. And in the new Zombies game, basically what they did was they added a system called augments, which is kind of like things they've tried before, which is basically buffs on top of what you already have that make the perks more unique and special. Before, you're only able to do it to one of your perks. That was called a modifier slot. But now, we're able to do it to all of them. And the thing that makes this so cool is that opposed to other games like Cold War, where you had all these buffs and they were all active at once, in Black Ops 6 you have to choose between these buffs, and each of them have unique abilities that kind of vary against each other and can lend to unique play styles as you go through. So let's give you the quick rundown. I hope you studied. So basically what we have here is the augment system, right? And we have our major augment and our minor augments. And essentially majors give you a big buff, minors give you a small buff. Right? And there's 6 in total. 3 majors, 3 minors. You get to pick 1 major, 1 minor. And they all give you different stuff. So one thing could be really cool, like for PhD, there's an augment that makes it to where you can slide super fast and super far. And that's a lot of fun, and I'll never take it off. You can't force me to. Even if you twist my arm, you can just go ahead and break it! The other option is to be able to slide into a crowd and it makes an explosion, which is really cool too. And you might like to use that more. Not me, because I'm cool and I'm a pimp bala, but this lends to unique decisions you have to make in the game, right? That's what we want. That's what replayability is, right? Well, hold your breath on that. Let's put a pin in that one, all right? And so movements like this tribologist thing over here I was talking about make it really fun, because guess what? I'm rounding the corner, right? Imagine me rounding the corner on some zombies and I see a little gap. There's just the smallest little gap between those zombies. And if I don't go quick enough, I'm not going to make it, and they're going to kill me, and I'm never going to see my family again. So what do? Can you guess? You have 5 seconds to guess. That's what I do, dude. I slide right through. I really do like it, and those are a lot of things that I like about this game, is that playing the game, like the general gameplay, is a lot of fun. Just there's not a lot of things to bring you back to play. Like, I've already done everything. Like, it's a nice system. It feels good, but there's no reason for me to come back. But I'll get into that a little bit later if you'll just be patient. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you. I'm just getting worked up, dude. I'm getting worked up. I played this game since I was a kid. You Chellers out there,
miss on a fucking
you Barbie Dreamhouse fans, you Pixie Hollow nuts out there, imagine how you would feel if your favorite game, Pixie Hollow or Pop Tropica, was being destroyed by the company that made it. Imagine out there right now, Pop Tropica fans, if Jeff Kennedy himself came out and set Pop Tropica on fire. How would you feel? Imagine if Pop Tropica came out, dude. Pop Tropica, the new Pop Tropica came out, and it was fire, dude. Not on fire, that's later. It was fire metaphorically, as in great. And then, after a couple months of playing it, Jeff Kinney comes out and just without saying a word sets it on fire in front of you and your whole family and friends. How would you feel? You'd want to make a video about it too. And it sucks because the game is good, like I was mentioning, all the things I mentioned before. And the Easter eggs. The Easter eggs are like the main quest. They're a lot of fun. Like they've got cool steps that are fun to do actually compared to the more recent titles. I like it a lot. The story's really good, even though they're telling it in a stupid way, which I'm going to get into later. I'm going to paint you my beautiful Bob Ross picture, so get excited, stay tuned, get your popcorn, kick back and relax for that one. And the Easter eggs, as opposed to years before, are actually kind of challenging. And I like that. And you get to the boss fights and they're actually kind of challenging. And I like that. Easy games usually aren't that fun. I'm just saying, dude. Don't tell me, I'm just saying. And all this stuff is really good and makes the game fun in spite of the many issues that it does have, which unfortunately we're about to get into right now. And even more unfortunately, it seems like I might have a decent amount to say on the topic, because despite the fact that they have a lot of good things going, it seems like they're too eager to get those good things going, if you know what I'm saying. Or you will in a second. Please have some patience! So as I mentioned earlier, and I'm sure you got super excited about and already popped your popcorn and are sitting down in your jammies with your Snuggie on waiting for me to tell you, I am about to paint you a picture. A picture of what could have been. And then I'm going to throw red paint all over it. And you're going to hate me for it. So don't shoot the messenger. Messenger is kind of a dickhead. Let's move on to the story and paint this picture for you, because while I think the story is good and it's very cool and they have a really cool story to tell, they're just not telling it in a very good way. Let me phrase that better. They're not telling it in the way that everyone and their mom would tell it to you if they were to tell it to you. And I want to preface this with a little quote from a video I saw that's not about Call of Duty Zombies, but it's relevant. I was watching a YouTube video by a channel called The Closer Look, and this video was about the dialogue in Thor Love and Thunder and how the simplistic dialogue that they had ended up ruining the movie. And basically what he showed was a TED Talk from the guy who directed Finding Nemo. And in that TED Talk, the director said, give the audience 2 + 2, don't give them 4. Meaning give them the pieces to put together the answer instead of giving them the answer flat out. And it's a little different, obviously. At the end of the movie, you might want to give your audience the answer, but the point is, don't give them 4 until you get there. Give them 2 + 2, a little trail of 2s, all the way until they get to like 16 or whatever it ends up being. So just keep that in mind as we move on and I talk about this next portion, which is going to get me a little fired up, I'm not going to lie. So let me tell you the story, the abbreviated story of Black Ops 6 Zombies so far. We start in a prison. And in this prison, we find our heroes from the last game, Call of Duty Cold War. You don't really need to know much. Not a ton honestly happened that's important here, but we catch up with our heroes. They're all locked up in jail, which they were thrown in the last game. And they've been here for years, and some of them are geeking while some of them are staying locked in. And amongst all the geeking and locked-innedness, we see a mystery character come up and kill a guard and open the doors for our fabled squaw. As the doors open, we see the geekers and gooners alike are confused, brought out of their daze, wondering who could this person be that's freeing us? I don't understand. I don't get it. Somebody help me. Somebody tell me what's going on. Little do they know, here comes another guy from the last name, Dr. Peck. He's with them, and they're like, yo, you were a terrible ass dude in the last game, homie. You were a terrible ass dude in the last game, homie. You tried to kill us multiple times, and you killed our friend named Samantha. And they're like, why don't we kill you right now, bro? I should kill you right now, bro. And his friend comes up from behind with a knife and goes to kill him, and he's like, no, dude, no, wait. I'm here to break you guys out because you guys want to kill the same guy I do, the guy who put you in prison, Dr. Edward Richtofen. I'm doing the whole video from down here just so you know for the rest of the video. This guy's body's starting to smell. And they say, fine, even though we don't like you, we both want to kill Richtofen, and you know, you're our only way out of here, so fine, we'll do it. And then the lady's like, wait a minute, I came here to free my brother. We got to find him first. So everybody's like, oh, dude, fine. And they go and they try and find her brother. And we kind of go throughout the whole thing, finding different knickknacks to build the gun and do what we need to do so we can find her brother. And we finally find him. And he's in this tube. Oh, sorry. It scared me. And essentially, we're not done yet. We got to go do something. So basically, we go get the code for him. We press everything, and we think he's just going to be good, but turns out he's hungry, and he has to die for it. Plenty of people to eat, zombies to eat, but I don't know why he decided not to eat them. But he wants to eat us, so we basically barely talk about it, and we take him down, and he's there talking about how much he's hurt, and unfortunately, we have to kill him.
Do it.
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Oh gosh, it gets me every time. And so essentially, from that point on, Maya's pissed because her brother died and she wants to kill the person responsible for this. So we're trying to find this lady named Modi, and we're confronted by this AI system that works for Dr. Edward Richtofen's company. And her name is the Synaptic Algorithm Module, or SAM. Remember the character I said from earlier, Sam? Yeah, it sounds just like her. They're like, Sam, are you alive? Our friend Sam, are you alive? And she's like, no, I'm an AI that's based on your friend Sam, made by Edward Richtofen. And they're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. And then Sam's like, don't worry, I don't really share the same grievances any of them do. And then she doesn't really say much else. She's just like, I can help you guys find Modi and get off the island. We're like, cool. And then we do find her, and then we don't kill her. We don't kill her. Somebody else does for us, baby. Turns out it's a giant squid monster that used to be a person who's being experimented on this island that we have to kill now. But at least she's dead, though. So she dies. We kill the dude after a few tries because it's actually a decently challenging boss fight. Pretty fun. Best boss fight in the game so far. I like the next one, but it's not as good, and we can all admit that. And essentially, after all of that, we walk into this room, and Sam's there to talk to us, and she's telling us, hey, there's this freaking artifact that Richtofen is after that you guys probably want to get to before he does, because who knows what he's going to use it for, if it's even real. And we're like, okay, cool. Where is he? She's like, oh, well, nobody knows where he is, but he's probably on his way there right now. And we're like, oh, dang. Crap, we gotta beat him there. We gotta go get this thing if it's that powerful, and it could maybe even bring back our friend Sam. And so we set off on our adventure to the next map, knowing that we're going to see one of our buddies, our old buddies, and we're also gonna be friends with this new Sam robot. Wait a minute, actually she's evil, and you saw it a month before the game came out. They revealed that she's evil. Yeah, I'm not playing. We already know that she's evil. And to make it even worse, we already know that she kidnapped Edward Richtofen, and she's lying to the crew. Which is a cool story beat, right? But they could have just not told us about what happened and revealed it later. That way we don't know if we should trust this character or not. Because now we know we shouldn't. So essentially what happens in that is that Richtofen's sleeping, dreaming about his family that died in a fire. He wakes up, there's a huge outbreak, they say. Sam's busting it open, being the dark ether, busting open the dark ether, and we gotta stop it, and he's going and he's killing zombies, and he gets there and he's grabbed by this purple stuff and he's like, Sam, you'll never be free. And then that's really cool. So we're like, oh, does he mean Sam like the human Sam, or what's going on? Like, but I thought she was dead from the last game. And then it pans to a shot where it shows the AI version of her, and it's like, but I already am Edward. And it's like, didn't have to show me that though, because now I know everything that's going on in the story and where it's leading to. And that comes back to the part where I say, give me 2 + 2. Give me, oh, Sam's had a breach and Richtofen disappears. Don't give me 4, meaning don't show me that it's the same AI that made Richtofen disappear. Just show me things that could maybe lead me to believe that. That way I can theorize and wonder for myself, hey, should I trust this motherfucker? or not. And so that's just a little bit annoying. But you know what? They got a new map out, so let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. It is a cool story. They got a chance to turn it around. They hear what we say about them not needing to spoil the game anymore. So let's see what they got. So basically, they come out with this new map, Citadel Daymore. And it is very cool, and it's very fun upon the first playthrough at least. And essentially, we go through, we land here, we meet our old friend Ravenov, who's this, and he tells us that there's a man named Gabriel Kraft that we need to go find, because he knows everything there is to know about this little artifact that we're looking for. So we go through the caves, and we get down there, and we find him, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna put a little thingy on you so you can see where you need to go next. And he places a little magic on us, and we say, whoa, you're magical. Like, the hell? Why didn't you use that to break out? You know, duh. Don't be an idiot next time. And he says, well, I'm not magic, this castle's magic. And we're like, cool cop out. And literally, cool cop out. No, I like it. And so we go on this quest to obtain all these 4 swords of these bastard sons that used to live at this castle, and it's really cool lore for this castle. We do all that, and essentially we're going to find this amulet that is supposed to help us find the Sentinel artifact, because the artifact's not here, but he can't tell us because he doesn't know if he can trust us, which makes sense. So essentially what we do is we talk to this guy named the Owl, right? The Owl right here. We talk to him, and he basically tells us, okay, so you're a bitch. You're a little bitch, dude. I hate you, and you're lucky that you're the one who found this, because you're actually not dope at all. You're actually a poser and a fraud, but let's see if you can prove me wrong. And so we say, okay, cool, dude, I'm not your bitch-ass little son. I have a gun. This dude had a sword. I have a gun that shoots out rockets. I'm going to be okay. And meanwhile, we're getting intel from Kraft the whole time, and we're finding out Rick Hoffman's the one who put him here, and he's saying, oh, it's just so terrible what happened after the fire. He was never the same after that. And, you know, we get the thing to go fight this, you know, guardian that we need to get the amulet from. And the Sam AI is telling us, oh, I don't know if we should trust Robert Kraft because he's had communications with Richtofen as recent as like a couple days ago. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's very interesting. I wonder if I should side with Kraft or Sam. Oh wait, I already know who I should side with. And we beat this guy, this giant ass guardian dude who's trying his hardest not to let us get it. And I mean, he's trying his hardest. He's like shooting fireballs and I have to, you know what I'm saying? I come back to that. That's fun. I'm having a good time. Well, if I brought enough points in, I'm having a good time. Because he's a bullet sponge and you just have to buy ammo over and over again, and that's my biggest problem with the bosses in this game. They could be fun if they just had more interesting ways to damage them like they did in old games. Like in Dead of the Night, I'm going to give you an example, okay? Are you ready for a sick-ass example? In Dead of the Night, you fight this werewolf who's invisible, right? Sounds like it would suck, but whenever he's running at you, you see this dirt come up, and he's moving pretty slow. And there's these pillars around that you can turn, and they've got lights coming off them. And anytime they're pointing at the wolf, in his general direction, they turn green. And once you point all three at him, he freezes in place. And you have a set amount of time where you can damage him. And it's really cool because you have to dodge him if you can't get to the pillars in time. But if you can, you set him up and you do damage. He doesn't feel too spongy because after a while he'll just shut off and he'll go back to chasing you and you just got to do the same thing again. It's challenging, but it's not annoying. And that's how a boss fight should be. And this boss fight is challenging and fun and also annoying. So it makes it hard for me to decide which, you know, whether I like it that much or not. Because on one hand, it is really fun to be sliding around and be doing my thing.
You know what I'm saying?
So the gameplay of it is really fun, running around dodging him like it's Dark Souls, doing sick nasty 360 spin move jukes on him. But the balancing could be a lot better in terms of how much damage he takes. But anyways, we beat him, we get our amulet. Kraft is calling out from down below, don't know how we heard him. We've got magic ears because he gave them to him, I guess. And essentially he's like, oh no, they're breaking in, come help me! And he's geriatric, so he can't do nothing to defend himself. He's a geezer. It's okay. It's okay to be a geezer, but he is one. And it's not the best thing whenever it's time to defend yourself from zombies. And so he's torn up, he's in a bad way. He's in bad shape. We come in. You know, it's like he's done. You know, he's done. And he's telling us, oh, I'm not going to make it, so you're going to have to take this amulet to this dig site and coughing up blood. He's like, I need you to take it there and you should find the Sentinel artifact. It's ancient, it's buried. And we're like, okay, cool. The artifact that we learned about last game we're finally going to get. Sick. And we start to kind of walk away because I guess we don't really care that much. And he basically stops us and he says, but wait. And we're like, what? What's the matter? What? He says, "Please, Richtofen, don't kill him. He's my son." Hallelujah type vibe. It's like, that's a great drop right there. Oh my gosh, he's a son. So it makes so much sense why he knows about all this stuff, because like I put in the text earlier that he is, a different version of himself. And so it makes sense why that kid version knows all this stuff now, because his dad knew all that stuff and he passed it on to him. And, it makes so much sense. And now we get why he has an interest in this stuff and why he knows about the artifact and wants it and what he might be trying to do. It's great. And you already knew that he was his son the first time you spawned into the map. You heard that on radio right outside the spawn room. Like, why would you do that? That makes no sense to me, why you would be like, we have such a cool story beat to tell and we have a big moment at the end. Like, this is supposed to be a moment that was supposed to blow my socks off, but it didn't, because I already knew about it before I came in here. And it's not like it's anywhere. It's right outside the spawn. The first time you play, you're probably going to see it. You're enjoying your time. You're like, oh, cool little castle. Oh, what's that over there? And you see this big-ass 4 chilling in the grass. A big-ass 4 chilling in the grass. Meanwhile, you play through the Easter egg, and it's full of 2+2s, and you're having a dandy old time. And at the end, you finally figure out the 4. But it doesn't matter, because there was a 4 chilling in the grass the whole freaking time. And it ruins the aha moment at the end of this, because there's a really cool story they could have told, and they could have had these radios in the game still and just not said his name. Literally in the radios, it's plain as day. He's like, I adopted a little boy named Eddie Richtofen, Dr. Edward Richtofen, from World at War through Black Ops Cold War. It's like, no, why would you do that? Just let me figure it out. I'm not dumb, I swear. I'm not that dumb to where at the end of the story, I'm not going to understand it unless you told it to me earlier, when you're telling me the exact same thing at the end of the story. And don't even get me started on how the Modern Warfare 3 zombie storyline just has all of our main characters dead as fuck. Okay, I know how this is gonna end. I don't care if it doesn't matter that much. There's moments that could be zingers that you're not allowing to be zingers. It's like, why? And if you didn't include his name in it, these would be really cool radios, because they provide some insight on maybe Kraft experimented on Richtofen with MK Ultra, and that's why he knows all this stuff from the old world and what, complicated zombie stuff like that. But it would link together, but instead we just use it to spell it out plain as day, give you a big ass 4 in the middle of the grass. I hate you! Instead of just giving us the simple 2+2 that we would be able to solve by ourselves. The next map is coming out pretty soon on January 28th, and I'm hoping that they kind of rectify a lot of these storytelling issues that they've had thus far, which they can. It's not hard to do. Literally, like I said, just take one word out of it and it would have been a lot better. And that's pretty much my gripe with the story, which is a big one, but we're going to move into my gripes with the gameplay as well, and I'm just going to continue painting all day. There are no happy accidents. There are only treacherous mistakes. So imagine a game in which you spawn in with your pistol. So you're playing with your pistol, you're running around, and you say, hey, I see up in the sky a big light. That light is a mystery box. And over here I know that there's a cool perk like Juggernog that makes it to where I can stay alive longer. Oh my gosh golly, which way should I choose? If I go to Jug, I can just get Jug, maybe buy a wall weapon, do something cool like that. But if I go over here, I could get a sick gun from that mystery box, dude. And so naturally, like we all do, we go to the mystery box and we take our ass over to the mystery box. We hit the mystery box, we get a cool gun, it's an SMG, and we know, hey, if I pack-a-punch this SMG, it's gonna be really cool because it has a crazy fire rate, and it basically makes the hip fire spread 0, because that's the new pack-a-punch ability they have, which is also a really cool and good feature they added back into this game from Black Ops 1 and 2. Less so Black Ops 3, even though it's still there a little bit. But a bunch of guns have these cool pack-a-punch abilities, so if I get a gun out of the box that has one, I'm going to want to stick with it. And I know, hey, this is an SMG though, so I'm going to need to be light on my feet and be able to move pretty quick. I need to go get stamina up. Oh wait, I got to make an interesting decision, because imagine with me for a sec that we're back in the olden days where we had the 4 perk slots. Okay, not those 4 perk slots. Those 4 perk slots, where you can also gain extra ones if you do Easter eggs and stuff. Wouldn't that be so cool? Because now, with the aforementioned augment system that I told you about, it would make it so much more interesting of a decision for which perks I want to use, because every perk here is really freaking good. And I don't necessarily have to get Jug because I could just get Quick Revive. And Quick Revive helps me regen health faster. And I could use that instead to get Stamina up and Deadshot and all these things. And I could limit it to 4, and it's specifically for the build I got from the gun I got from the mystery box. And imagine with me for a sec, if you haven't played zombies in a while, this probably just sounds normal to you what I'm describing, but it's not anymore. Imagine for 1 second if the vest you have on, the armor vest, which normally in the game you just get immediately when you spawn in, you have level 1 armor. Imagine if you had to go find the pieces and build it. And then you have level 1 armor. And each one is themed to the appropriate map. Like the one in Liberty Falls would be just like a normal Kevlar vest. The one in Terminus would be like a prison guard uniform. The one in Citadel would be like a knight's uniform. Wouldn't that be cool? It's almost like they used to do that in every single map and now they don't. It just pains me to see these, elite levels of detail that we used to have for zombies maps go down the drain in favor of just simplistic gameplay mechanics that aren't very replayable. And that is my next biggest issue, is that this zombies game by far is the least replayable one, besides maybe Cold War, I have ever played. I didn't play Vanguard. I didn't play Modern Warfare Z. Because there's such a lack of differentiation between what you think's gonna happen and what happens within the game. It's not so much that you can't have a different experience game to game, but you go in and you know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring in my super souped up gun and I'm gonna take it to this awesome pack-a-punch machine, and I'm gonna pack-a-punch it 3 times, and I'm gonna pick up enough green stuff off the ground to get it up to gold rarity, and I might get the wonder weapon, and maybe I'll do the Easter egg, but that's all there is to do, and that's all you can do every single time, because there's nothing else to do in the map that's fun besides the Easter egg. There are some cool side Easter eggs, I'll give you that much, but nothing that actually feels like I'm earning something that's helping me a ton with the zombies that's new and unique. Imagine if the Elden Ring DLC came out. Imagine if Pop Tropica, let's bring it back to you, Jeff! Imagine, Jeff, if you dropped a new thing of Pop Tropica and it basically just had a new area that was cool. The new area is cool and designed very well. But imagine if, Jeff, whenever you brought in this new thing, it had nothing new in it whatsoever that I could make and craft and get for myself. Wouldn't that suck, Jeff? Jeff agrees. So why is it okay that a AAA game studio can do this whenever they used to not? It's not like I'm asking for everything to be the same. I like innovation. But when we see levels of detail regressing, that's not okay. So in previous entries of zombies games, you'd have tons of things you could find around the map and build to help you with the zombies, like a gas mask in Zetsubot. There's silver bullets in Dead of the Night. There's a bunch of werewolves that spawn in. In that same map, there's a wooden stake you can get and craft that kill the vampires that are a pain in the ass, but now it's a one-shot kill anytime you stab them with a steak knife because it makes sense. It's themed to the map. There's no map-themed items besides the wonder weapons, and that should be the bare minimum in the game. There's just so many tried and true elements of zombies that would make this game so much better that just aren't present in this game, and I don't know why. Or do I? See, I have a theory. I have a theory as to why all your favorite stuff from zombies is no longer here anymore. Do you want to hear it? Do you? This guy's starting to stink, by the way. What I think it is that they noticed a significant decline in players of zombies after Black Ops 4 because they made it way too complicated for the average person to play, that they wanted to go in the exact opposite direction, right? And now we're in a place where we have to make everything suitable to people who don't really even want to play zombies, but they need the numbers of those people. And so, upon the initial launch of the game, we have a huge spike of players who are here to do nothing but camo grind and obtain all of these cool camos that Call of Duty has made for you to collect, and oh my gosh, that guy stinks. And it is cool, these camos are cool, and it does keep you playing. See where I'm going with this? So essentially, it seems to me like all of these map mechanics being bring your loadout weapon in, any weapon you want, get as many perks as you want, it doesn't matter. Have a new armor system that you just pay money for, you don't have to, go around and actually pick up the parts. It makes it to where you can do these things without almost even trying. You just spend the money that you get by killing zombies, and I get wanting people to get into it, but when you totally sacrifice all the other stuff in the mode to appeal to these people who aren't even going to play the game once they unlock all their camos, it just doesn't make sense for the longevity of it. Don't you agree? Don't you agree, dude? I'm coming over. I'll be sure now. So yeah, people didn't camo grind as much in old zombies because in order to get certain weapons, you had to get them from the box. Who knows if you're gonna? That's just luck. Oh, that's annoying for me, who's a camo grinder. So why don't we introduce a system where instead you just get to bring whatever gun you want. That way you're guaranteed to be able to work on this gun as much as you want, get all the camos for it. Thank you very much. And hell, I'm not gonna be able to kill enough zombies if I'm just playing through the first few rounds. If I don't have my armor, I'm not gonna be able to last into the later rounds with more zombies. So let's make it to where these people don't have to build their armor because they're not going to put in the time and effort to learn to do that because they don't like zombies, which is fine. You don't have to like zombies. And I do want more people playing zombies. That's why I like a lot of the additions in Black Ops 6, including being able to buy new tiers for your armor. I like that. I just think you should have to build your armor first and maybe put that in the directed mode where they teach you how to do the Easter egg. Maybe make you pick up your armor. That way people know how to do that and where the pieces are going to be at. Directed mode is this beautiful catch-all that you can use to teach people about zombies, not just the Easter egg. It's beautiful, dude. We just have to use it in the way that it is most suited to bring in the most players for the actual game mode of zombies, not the hollowed out version that's going to be fun for people the first few months, and then later on nobody's going to come back and play it because there's nothing to do because we already did everything, which was the main problem with Cold War. It's like they kept all the cool out-of-game stuff that adds to the experience of the game being this in the augment system, but they took away all the interesting stuff in-game to make it easier for people. It's like, this is why I like zombies, not this. I love this and I'm glad it's here, but this is the reason why I played zombies, and you've taken that away and given me this and said, see, this is for you. And I'm like, I like that. That is for me, but why did we have to lose this to get that when these two things right here, when these two things could be living in perfect harmony, dude? And I understand why you would like certain things about the system, like having no perk limit. It's cool to have all the perks, but you gotta remember how awesome it is to only have 4, and then you do a little Easter egg, and then a perk bottle shows up, and you grab that hoe, and you drink it, dude, and you glug up, brother. You glug up on that thing. It feels great. It feels like you earned it, as opposed to just, you know, I understand you earn it with your currency, but you actually had to work for this. To become overpowered, you had to work for it instead of it just naturally coming to you through the process of the game. And I guess what I'm saying and why I'm suggesting all these changes is because there is a lot of good stuff about Black Ops 6 within the fundamental gameplay and stuff that's being hindered by all the things that it's putting in for the sake of accessibility to people who don't actually want to play the game. Whenever there's a mode for people who don't actually want to play the game, that could be included in. Like, there's waypoint markers in the normal version. There shouldn't be. Maybe on the first time I play it, but then after that, they should be gone. I should not have waypoint markers in the non-guided version. That's what it means to be guided. And even though I find a lot of these things interesting, as in the gameplay design and the story and stuff, it makes it hard for me to come back and play the game because I realize I'm not playing the game because I want to play the game. I'm playing the game because of the set of goals that have been placed before me that force me to play the game if I want to get these rewards, as in the prestige system, as in the camo system. And after a while, even though it's cool and I want these cool looking camos, I can't help but feel like I'm wasting my time for a reward that doesn't even exist. And I don't even want to say that this game's entirely devoid of things that make it replayable. The Cursed Talisman in Terminus is really cool. You go through this whole side quest where you got to talk to a skeleton and fight people, and then you basically get this talisman that makes it to where you have permanent double points, but anytime you get hit it takes points away. That's a really fun addition. I have to work for that, and it's unique to the map, but that's the only thing unique to any of the maps so far. And when I look around and see that there's none of this, it makes me sad because I know how good it used to be and how good it can be, and most likely how good the devs want it to be, but they're being sabotaged by Daddy Activision into not including these things. And not having those things on top of all the terrible things happening with the game right now, with the AI voice actor situation, with the game not being fixed, with them trying to price gouge us for everything, it really makes me sour on the game. And on top of everything being spoiled in the story, that sours it even more. Because even though I like the story, and I don't think spoilers can ruin a good story, they can definitely sour it. Sour is the word of the day. And with this experience being soured, it makes it hard for me to come back to these things because either A, Treyarch doesn't have the time to implement these things because of the crunch they have been put under to make this game and next year's game. Yeah, they're making both games at the exact same time. That's crazy. Have you ever heard of that happening before besides EA?
It's in the game.
Or B, Activision is knowingly forcing these things to be emitted because it saves money for them to not have these people go in and code in buildables and stuff like that for people to experience on the map that's unique, or give them the time to actually have and make these cool and unique things for the map, like every other game on the planet has. And then you look at these things that are missing from the game that have been in previous games, like balancing the starting weapon to make it much weaker than the rest, buildables, the perk limit, even putting the friendly AI that's in the game that is cool, even putting it into the workbench after you unlock it from the side Easter eggs. That would be cool, because as it goes now, you just build these things, they show up, they kill for like 2 minutes and they're done. You can't get them the rest of the game. Why would it be like that? Why would I not want to have this thing whenever I want it and can pay for it and I can take it? You have a streak system and you use it for only 2 things for zombies. Why? When you could easily put these things into the workbenches kill streaks. And we end up in a spot where it feels like they don't do these things, Activision, not Trey, I'm not trying to talk bad on them, but they don't do these things because why would they put all this effort in when they can just get us addicted to a tedious camo grind that keeps us coming back and playing the game as much as they want us to. And then by the time most of us are done, the next game is about to come out. Oh, I can't wait to see what camos they have in that game where they force me to play the game in a super not fun way in order to get them, and then I'm done and I'll be in the cycle forever. Not me. I didn't buy Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3. Not me! Okay, I'm down here enduring the stink because my computer's down here, and I have a very good thing that I wrote that I'm not going to be able to memorize, so I'm just going to read it for you. And this essentially sums up the way that I feel about how Call of Duty has been going lately. And it's that in a game, replayability should stem from unique gameplay systems that promote a variety of fun in-game situations that require a player to make engaging and different decisions match to match, especially in a game like Zombies, where it's very repetitive. The gameplay loop itself is repetitive. There needs to be things present to make it different, and those things have been removed. Along the way, somehow, in some way, Call of Duty got repetitiveness confused with replayability. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I know it's kind of a chance. It's my first video, so taking a chance, appreciate that. I hope you either kind of was already having the same feelings as me and, resonate with that, or you hadn't thought about this before, but maybe it's something you identify with now, or maybe even you totally disagree with me and you hate me and you want me to die. And if you are a part of those first 2 groups that don't want me to die, and you do feel a little sad that things aren't the way that they were, even though you do kind of like it now, keep your chin up, because it could always be worse, because we could be multiplayer Warzone fans. Holy shit.